So Nicholas Pegues reporting Princess Beatrix, this is your elected American boyfriend speaking. My connections to former President George W. Bush as I begin to celebrate my 28th birthday celebration this Sunday, June 8th, 2014. And I'd like for everyone around the world to give to the Catholic Church. Nicholas Pegues reporting, a recipient of Pope Benedict XVI and, of course, former President George W. Bush. This is one connection to me regarding former President George W. Bush. And guess what, Nicholas Hughes fans? Did you know that I was granted an opportunity to see former President George W. Bush in 2005 when he was elected President of the United States? Now, this is when he was elected sitting President of the United States in 2005 by Congressman Marsha Blackburn. I was granted the extraordinary opportunity to hear President George W. Bush speak, and it was a remarkable speech about Social Security. And also, I was interviewed by Channel 5. How awesome is that? Nicholas Hughes reporting beginning to celebrate his 28th birthday on June 8th, 2014. Nicholas Hughes reporting, may God save the Queen. And of course, Princess Beatrix, this is your elected American boyfriend speaking, Nicholas Hughes, being an icon of Memphis. So Nicholas Pegues reporting as a descendant of Victorian Village College Chapel Historic District as a young right-wing Republican candidate in Tennessee's 8th Congressional District, promoting diversity and, of course, unity among the global establishment, especially diversity here in the United States of America. I would like to wish a happy Father's Day to both presidents of the United States, former President George W. Bush, who has just written me, and, of course, President Barack Obama. And both of these letters, of course, are addressed to Nicholas Pegues, and they both are unopened. So Nicholas Pegues reporting, honoring diversity and, of course, Father's Day 2014. A happy Father's Day to both the President Barack Obama, and, of course, former President George W. Bush. And, of course, Princess Beatrix, this is your elected American boyfriend speaking, promoting diversity in the United States of America. Thank you. May God bless America. Happy Father's Day to the President and to the President, and of course to former President George W. Bush. Thank you. And also a happy Father's Day to the President and Mrs. Bush and the President and Mrs. Obama and all of their descendants. Nicholas Pegues reporting. Happy Father's Day 2014.
Nicholas Pegues reporting, waiting on arrival of former President George W. Bush here in East Memphis. Nicholas Pegues reporting, seen in our report on Memphis. Nicholas Pegues reporting, CNN Our Report.
Walk through, I'm going to point out some of the symmetry in this old house. But let's go back first of all. Memphis was laid out as a city in 1817. And at that time, this was a very rough river town. To live here, if you were a female, you had to be tough. And it is, though, a good location. The Chickasaw Indians knew the best real estate. This is on one of the 7 Chickasaw bluffs. So it's elevated enough away from flooding. But it is one of the Chickasaw bluffs. As time went on, people realized this is a good location. You're not up north where it's so cold. You're not down in New Orleans where the humidity and the flooding is much worse. You're just in the middle. So it is quite a nice climate, except for this summer. This summer was pretty awful. It can be very warm here. But anyway, people started to move in to the city because they knew they could ship goods up and down the river. Great transportation in this area. When this area was built up, so this was the country, that was a dirt road out there. This was not the city of Memphis, so this was the country. So when this house was built in 1871, Mr. Woodruff over here on the right decided he wanted to live on this street. It was called Millionaire's Row, because at that time, a lot of wealthy people built their homes here. And to build a house, it had to be a mansion. So this is one of the, well, there were 32. This is one of the 3 that's left. the Mallory Neely, which is on the other side of House Beautiful, the little small White House, is being worked on. They got scaffolding up, so they're restoring that home. It had a lot of damage, so that one's being worked on. And then there's a Pillow McIntyre on the corner over here that's now a law office. Those are the only three left, which is very sad, but at least we have this and the history to share about what it was like back in that era of 1870 before the Victorian era. Now, Mr. Woodruff was a carriage maker, very successful, very, very wealthy. He had 4 children, but only 3 lived in the house. But if you notice the fan light at the top, the stained glass piece, there are 4 eggs in that nest representing his 4 children. One of the children that lived in the house, though, was a married daughter, and she and her husband shared the upper 2nd floor. When this house was built, Mr. Woodruff wanted to show off how wealthy he was. So notice this door frame, beautifully carved. It's actually machine carved. That was a sign of wealth. It was during the Industrial Revolution. It cost more to have machine carved
than hand carved?
Yep.
What about that?
Yeah, that was the Industrial Revolution. So machinery was brand new. It was a new hot thing. It was more expensive. And it looks like it would, to us, we think it's hand carved. You know, I would think that when I first walked in, but no, it's not. Notice the cornice work that runs along the top of the ceiling. It's wood and
So Nicholas Pegues reporting regarding the presidential enigma of CNN icon Nicholas the Governor Pegues. Now, how many people remember a year ago former President George W. Bush wrote me? Well, I do, and he wrote me last year. He writes me almost every year at any rate. What the former President of the United States have extended to me, I still don't know. Can you believe this? See, it says George W. Bush. This is a partially open letter, okay? That, I mean, look, as you can see, it has not been opened. It cannot be open. And it has been that way for for almost a year now. So this is the partially unopened letter to the former president, which is going to replace the official unopened letter of President Barack Obama, which has not been opened for 6 months. So Nicholas Pegues reporting another unopened letter from the former president, and of course, I do not know what he's written me, will replace the presidential enigma, which is the official letter of President Barack Obama here in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, this is to bring diversity, bipartisanship here in the great state of Tennessee. As I stated, I'm a new style of leader. I'm all about diversity, all about promoting unity. I'm something new here in the great state of Tennessee. So right now, this is now the third, or now this makes it 3 unopened presidential letters. So one is from former President George W. Bush. The other 2 is from President Barack Obama. And of course, the official unopened letter to the president is, of course, the presidential enigma of 2014.